Stoicism, the art of letting go. The night has arrived. The streetlights are dimming, and our minds begin to release the burdens of the day. If you are seeking a sanctuary, a quiet corner in the darkness, then this is exactly where you belong. Take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Let go of the unanswered calls, the worrying, headlines, and all the plans for tomorrow. Tonight, we will journey back in time, returning to an ancient philosophy that has helped millions of souls find peace. The philosophy of Stoicism. Stoicism is not about being emotionless or coldly indifferent. It is the most refined art of letting go that humanity has ever created. We will listen to echoes from the past, from some of history's greatest minds, people who learned how to find tranquility right in the middle of life's storm. Let this voice guide you through the lessons of acceptance, of courage, and of that deep well of inner strength. May your journey be a peaceful one. Part 1. Origins on the Painted Porch. The story of Stoicism begins around 300 years before Christ, in a city gleaming beneath the Mediterranean sun, Athens, Greece. The starting point wasn't within the magnificent, towering temples dedicated to the gods, but in a much more humble place. It was a public, covered walkway, adorned with glorious murals and frescoes, known as the Stoipoikal, the painted porch. This structure originally shielded passers-by from the harsh sun, and later, it was this very concept that sheltered millions of souls from the storms of life. The founder of this school of thought carried a simple name, Zeno of Citium. He was not a high-born Athenian scholar. No, he was a wealthy merchant, hailing from the island of Cyprus. His life was interrupted by a terrifying catastrophe, and it was that very catastrophe that opened the door to eternal tranquility. One fateful day, the ship carrying his entire cargo and fortune was caught in a massive storm and utterly shipwrecked off the coast. Zeno arrived in Athens, alone and penniless, stripped of his wealth, his livelihood, and everything he had painstakingly accumulated. But that profound loss turned out to be an invaluable gift, a gift that forced him to look inward, to search for a value that the ocean could not swallow, that fire could not consume. He walked into a bookstore. Amidst the dusty, aged scrolls, Zeno discovered the works of Socrates and the Cynic philosophers. He was captivated, like a thirsty man finding a spring. He saw a light pierce through his soul. True happiness does not lie in possessions, power, or fame, but within the soul itself. It resides in virtue. Zeno asked the bookseller, "Where can I find a teacher of this philosophy?" The bookseller simply pointed to Crates, the cynic who happened to be walking past. Zeno immediately resolved to become his student. This transition holds a deep lesson for all of us. Loss can be liberation. When we have nothing left to lose, we become truly free to rebuild our core internal value. From that point on, Zeno began teaching his lessons. He didn't rent lecture halls. He didn't seek out only the elite scholars. He taught right there in the public portico, the Stoipoikal, where everyone, from the wealthy citizen to the slave, from the scholar to the fishmonger, could listen. And it was from the Stoipoikal, the painted porch, that the name Stoicism was born. This was a philosophy created from ruin, intended for everyone. It is not a harsh set of rules, but an invitation to live in harmony with the cosmos. Harmony doesn't mean resignation. It means recognizing the eternal laws of life, that everything changes, everything passes, and only our inner peace is truly indestructible. Following Zeno, the school was greatly developed by Chrysippus, who systematized Stoicism into a monumental scholarly work. But it was when Stoicism crossed the Aegean Sea, spreading to Rome, that it truly found its bright light. Rome was an empire of power and ambition, but also a place holding the greatest fear and anxiety, a place where this philosophy of letting go became the necessary breath for those standing on the very pinnacle of the world. Part 2. The Three Faces of Tranquility. In Rome, Stoicism ceased being merely an abstract theory taught on a painted porch. It transformed into a living practice, a spiritual survival guide adopted by individuals standing on every rung of the empire's ladder. The rise of Stoicism in Rome was defined by three colossal figures. They stand as living proof that the philosophy of letting go can be applied to every circumstance, whether at the pinnacle of power, amidst the suffering of enslavement, or within immense personal wealth. 1. Seneca, the fragility of fortune. The first is Lucius Annaeus Seneca, the brilliant playwright, the influential politician, and one of the wealthiest men in Rome. Seneca's life was a profound paradox. He possessed all the material things humanity craves: money, fame, and near-absolute power as advisor to Emperor Nero. Yet, precisely because he had everything, he constantly lived in fear of losing it all. He faced assassination, attempts, was exiled from Rome, and ultimately was forced by Nero himself to take his own life. Seneca's greatest lesson was about the fragility of fortune and voluntary hardship. He taught that if we fail to mentally prepare for loss, when it strikes, we will be destroyed. Thus, Seneca practiced voluntarily living in poverty for a few days every month. He would wear threadbare clothes, eat the simplest food, and sleep on a cold, hard floor. He did this not for self-punishment, but to tell his mind, "This is the worst that can happen, and I am still okay." Seneca left a teaching that serves as a soothing reminder for those who hold too much. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult. Dare to let go mentally before life forces you to let go physically. Dare to confront the shadow of loss even while standing under the brightest sun. 2. Epictetus, freedom Indiana shackles. If Seneca had everything, the second figure, Epictetus, had nothing. Epictetus was born into slavery. He owned no property, he didn't even own his own body. In fact, he was tortured by his own master to the extent that his leg was broken and remained permanently crippled. Yet, it was within that profound suffering that Epictetus discovered the greatest freedom of all. After he was freed, Epictetus became a great Stoic teacher. His core message is the most powerful, simple, and readily applicable concept to bring the soul to peaceful sleep: the dichotomy of control. This rule states, some things are up to us and some things are not. You do not control the actions of others. You do not control the cruel words of strangers. You do not control the outcome of a project you worked tirelessly on. All of these lie outside your circle of control. But you have 100% control over how you respond to those things. You control your judgment. You control your choice of effort. You control your inner calm. Epictetus taught his students, never seek perfection in things you don't control. Stop worrying about things that belong to others. Shift your entire energy into your own circle of control. This is the absolute art of letting go. Letting go of anxiety over what has happened. Letting go of the responsibility to change others. And finding eternal peace even when your body is in chains. Even when you possess nothing else in this world. 3. Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor and the Soul's Burden. And finally, we arrive at the peak of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of the Roman Empire. The man with ultimate power. He could command millions. He could change the fate of an entire continent. Yet, the book he wrote, Meditations, is the most poignant evidence of the soul's burden. These lines were not decrees sent to generals, but whispered self-admonitions written by candlelight in military camps, while war and plague ravaged the empire. He had everything, yet he constantly wrote about loneliness, fear, and the fleeting nature of all glory. Marcus Aurelius used Stoicism not as a philosophy but as a nightly spiritual medicine. He reminded himself, everything that is happening to you is meaningful to you. He teaches us the lesson of the focused mind. Each day, you only need to act rightly in the present moment. Don't worry about the 1,000 decisions of tomorrow. Just do this 1 hour's work well. Just mind this 1 minute's breath. Stoicism helped the emperor find peace not from external power, but from internal discipline. It is the reminder that no matter how chaotic the world outside may be, you always possess one inviolable fortress of peace, the choice of your attitude. Part 3. The Lesson of Belonging. From the stories of Zeno losing everything, Epictetus having nothing, to the wealthy Seneca and the powerful Marcus Aurelius, the philosophy of Stoicism distills into 3 priceless lessons. These 3 lullabies help our souls gently release resistance and sink into tranquility. 1. Amor fati, the love of fate. The first lesson, and perhaps the greatest challenge to our modern mind, is amor fati, the love of fate. It sounds strange, doesn't it? How can we love the terrible things that happen? Love failure? Love the pain of loss? Stoicism teaches us that the love of fate does not mean passively accepting injustice. It means embracing everything that happens to you, the good, the bad, the difficult, and using it as the raw material to forge your character. If a storm comes, you can complain about the storm, or you can accept that the storm is part of the natural order, and use the quiet focus it brings to strengthen your mental roof. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not wish for things to happen as you wish them to, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and all will be well. As you settle in for the night, you cannot control what happens outside your window or what tomorrow will bring. But you can practice amor fati right now. Love this very night, with all its noises, random thoughts, and fatigue. Let that acceptance become the softest pillow." 2. Memento mori, the reminder of death. The second lesson and the deepest lullaby is memento mori, remember that you will die. It sounds pessimistic, but Stoicism uses death as a powerful tool to remind us of the preciousness of the present. If you knew your life was finite, would you spend your last precious moments worrying about something that happened last week, or something that might happen next year? Death is uncontrollable, but living as if this is your last day is entirely within your control. Memento mori doesn't take life away. It gives life back to us. It renders the petty worries of daily life meaningless. As you lie down, and your mind is still clinging to concerns, gently whisper to it, "This day will pass, just like all the others. This life is a precious moment. I will not waste it on worry." Let your soul loosen its grip. Let it find freedom in the realization of this finitude. It is only in accepting death that we truly learn how to live and how to sleep. 3. Sympathia, the connecting flow. And the final Stoic lesson, the lesson of belonging. This is sympathia, the notion of harmonious connection. Stoicism does not teach you to become a lone island. On the contrary, it teaches that we are all part of one single universe. Just as a finger is part of the hand, or a tree is part of the forest. When you act unethically or harm others, you are hurting yourself. You are damaging the interconnected web of which you are a part. As you lie here, feel this connection. Let go of the anger towards those who may have hurt you today. They too are grappling with their own burdens. Forgiveness is a Stoic act, because it frees you from the chains of resentment, not necessarily the other person. Let this compassion soothe the final tensions remaining in your soul. Everything you are experiencing, everyone else has experienced too. You are not alone. You are part of a grand, flowing current. Now, prepare for the final lullaby. Let the acceptance of fate, the awareness of finiteness, and this connecting love guide you into a deep sleep. The final lullaby. The night is deep now, and perhaps your mind feels much lighter. Feel the tranquility spreading from the crown of your head, down your shoulders, and all the way to your toes. Stoicism does not give you a magic formula to solve every problem. It simply tells you, those problems no longer belong to you. They belong to the cosmos, and you have chosen to return to your own inner peace. Let these reflections be the warm blanket that wraps around your sleep. You do not need to fight your thoughts. Simply listen to them and let them drift away. Breathe in, breathe out, and softly repeat in your mind, "I accept this night exactly as it is. I will only worry about what I can control." Let go of worry. Let go of control. Let go of yesterday. May you have a deep and peaceful sleep, the emperor of your own life. I look forward to meeting you again in the light of the dawn, with a mind that is fully renewed.